Alright, what's up guys? Go ahead, got started on this. I removed the air filter box, intake tube, and I unplugged all my MAF sensors and of course all electrical sensors. This radiator hose go to your resonator, and also the hose right back there. Just disconnect and push them out of the way. On this right here, it rotates clockwise a little bit and it slides right off. It's nothing too hard. So y'all see it. It doesn't twist much. It's just this little ring too. It's not this whole thing. Just this little ring right here. Alright guys, been working on these few bolts. Put the PCV back there behind the resonator right there. There's two bolts go in the back of that it goes basically from the cab forward to the front of the truck. There's two of them. They're 10 millimeter, and one's right here on top. Very easy to get to. I got to that with I got to both of them with the ratcheting wrench. The bottom one, the best way I figured out to do it was I was pretty much laying up here, and you have to work your way between this bracket back here. Now that bracket holds these wires. There's one right here that goes on this side, and then there's a wire right here that goes on the bracket on this side. That's all that bracket does. And this bolt, the bottom bolt, actually goes through the bottom of this right here and into your elbow. Pull that off. See where I go from there. So right now I have this bolt and this bolt. Take this off and go ahead and get it out of my way. But I got one more bolt over here. If you're looking at it, it's on the bottom left. You can see the bracket running down. You push the wires down out of your way and get the extension, and I believe it's a 10 millimeter. Yep, 10 millimeter. Try to get it out of our way. Woo. I'm gonna get this hose out of the way here. Or take this clip out, sorry. Great thing to use for, not necessarily this, but other things I ran into on this so far. Easy to use, handy, very handy to have. Boom. Throttle body and everything's out of the way. Next thing I'm gonna work on is pulling the PCV out of the elbow here, coming off the turbo. So yeah, so that was what's in there. Sticks in just like that. That's where that bottom bolt goes. Out of the way. So now I'm getting a little bit more room to work in here. See what's next. Complete loosen the V-band clamp that secures the plastic turbo mouthpiece to the turbo. With the mouthpiece from the truck. All right. So next, saying we're going to remove this. Shove this down in that intake. That way I keep stuff from falling out of it, falling into it, I mean. Inside the turbo now, so I'm gonna get another rag and shove in there. That way I don't drop anything down in there. Make sure nothing gets sucked in the turbo when I get it all put back together. Get you guys a good look at that. But that's pretty much where I got the turbo. You can see the V-band on there. So yeah, it's where that elbow came off of. So we're about to get into the actually removing the EGR stuff next. So far I already got the coolant drain. I just removed the 3 coolant hoses off the EGR and pushed them out of the way. I went ahead and loosened the up pipe on this side. There's 2 13mm bolts. There's one right here, it's a 13mm. And then there's also one here and then one on the bottom side of it. So we can go ahead and get those loosened up. Actually, I think that's a 12mm. Hand me a 12, Dickie. So we might end up doing that. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what it looks like. See how much of a problem it gives me. But yeah, everything's been, besides that PCV I showed you guys earlier, that's really the hardest part I had with it so far. Just a lot of little stuff. Ow. It's the bottom bolt this. See it. These wires out of the way. Down here a little bit more. There we go. Yes. There is a gasket in there. Be aware of that. Somebody's calling me. I do not know who that is.
Apparently they didn't want to talk to you.
It's alright with me.
I'll be right back.
Both those bolts are out for the up pipe. Go ahead and pull that gasket out. Little metal gasket here. Yeah, now that crossover pipe should be disconnected all the way around. Like that. There's a crossover pipe in by 5 bolts. There'll be 2 bolts on either end of the tube. 2 here, 2 here. Don't forget the other gasket. 2 here and 2 here. And a single bolt securing the crossover tube in place. That was right here. Step 18, remove the 4 remaining bolts securing the EGR valve in place. Remove the electrical connector from the EGR valve. Remove the EGR valve from the vehicle. Here's one of those ratchets that you can go through all the way. You know, that way the put on the nut and the bolt sticks all the way through. You can. It's easier and you get spaces like this. I've never used it. I just heard that it was a good tool to have for this job. Luckily, I got one from my uncle that is a diesel mechanic. He got me one for Christmas. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove these. Yeah, one I have is Power Torque, and I bought a cheap set of the actual sockets from Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh brand. I think they're like 17 bucks for a set of them. Now it doesn't have all of them, but it does have metric and standard sizes on it. There's one bolt. Now these other ones, I believe I'll have to get an extension on it, so I won't be able to use this one. Go back to your standard ratchet set. With this vertical one here. None of these are very tight, so I haven't had a problem yet, knock on wood, of it being stuck on there and not being able to break loose. There's 2 bolts out. I'm trying to get underneath these cables here. Get this one. Boom. Just ratchet on here. You can see where they're talking about this AC compressor getting it out of the way. So I might end up moving it. There's 1 bolt down there. Looks like it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to get to. I might be able to get to it. It might be hard, difficult. But if I can get to it without too much trouble, I'm just going to leave the compressor and stuff on. Just play it by ear and see how it goes. Let y'all know. I got that top bolt, so that up pipe, off. I try to get that 12 over there, and it's giving me a hell of a time. So I'm going to try to get the 13 on the bottom left side, get that 13. All right, guys. So we got 1 more hose down there to get, but so it's hard to see. There's a bolt here, and there's another one right there on that finger. That one on that finger goes into the down pipe back there. That's the one that gave me a lot of trouble. What I ended up having to do is a 12 millimeter. What I had to do is I had to go up there to Lowe's, and I bought a set of extractor sockets. Looks something like this. Let that focus in a little bit on y'all. But I used a 1/2 inch size to grab that bolt. Where'd that bolt go? Right here. This is that last bolt I needed. I used that, and I used a 19 millimeter wrench on this socket. These sockets come like this, so you can either put a 3/8 inch drive ratchet or a wrench. I use the wrench because I have a longer leverage source. So if y'all see the difference there, I use the open end on that too. The way it hits up against the downpipe, you won't be able to use the closed end. You use the open end, do it this way, and then take it off, flip it over, and do it this way again. That'll get it loosened up. As soon as you break it up, you do 2 or 3 turns with that, and you can throw a ratchet on there, this 3/8 inch drive ratchet. Take it out a little bit more, and then once you get back and it starts hitting that fire, the ratchet starts hitting the heat shield, take the ratchet and the socket off, and you should be about finger loose. That's about how we did that.
After you beat the heat shield back.
Yeah, make sure you beat the heat shield back. Get mad at it, because I definitely got mad at it. But other than that, we'll go ahead and get this hose off here and get some more, get ready to do the install for y'all.